on this computer. Fantastic. On the Fringe with Dan radio style. Hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day. You know, I've got one of the most famous people in the world. Trump probably just being a step or hair above this guy, but I got baby Trump. I got the next best thing, folks. I got the next best thing, and he's on my channel. He's talking about a huge event he's got coming up, and we've got some interesting, we're going to touch upon the news, this whole FBI craziness that's going on. Again, all this fun stuff. So what's going on, Mr. Baby Trump? How you doing?
What is up?
I am
Dan
well,
on the Fringe. Man, I miss you, brother. I miss
you
our
too.
Conversations. I miss the laughing and just, how we would just talk about anything. Hey, God, puts us in each other's lives. So, man, I'm just so humbled and blessed to be on your show and talk about what's going on and the event and
I'm blessed to have you. I'm blessed to have you. And just for people that may not know, I got to know Baby Trump by being at a Clay Clark event, and he was actually hooked up next to where Ron Partain was, and he was doing stuff for the Street Fighter or whatever, and I was there just trying to get my face out in front of people, and got to meet you, and it was awesome, and we just had a great time. We were the whole day hanging out and good time.
We hit it off. When people get together and they're supposed to be together, you just hit it off.
Yeah, the energy was
so
there, yeah.
easy. We had chemistry and remember, I had like a heat stroke by the end of the day because 120.
Freaking stupid hot that day. I know it was, and then we were right out in front of the bathrooms too. It was just an epic. Drinking
iced coffee all day instead of water, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
killing.
Come on, we're not that smart, but
we're not. But yeah, what's going on, man? You want to share your screen, maybe even, and let's talk about what you got going on. You got a really cool event coming up here.
Oh, you're gonna make me share my screen.
What I understand is out there in Tejas. Good old
Tejas.
And while you're out there, folks, get yourself a taco. It's one of the things that Texas is famous for, is their friggin' awesome tacos. And some of you may live in the South like me, and I was out in Texas one time, and I'm like, tacos? I'm stalling for you. Like, tacos? What are you talking? I come from California, man. We got tacos, and they're like, not like Texas. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I had some of them Texas tacos. And yeah, they're damn good. They're damn good. Let me just say that. I guess California's famous for burritos. Whatever.
That's absolutely true.
I just love Mexican food. That's all there is to it. I don't care if it's wrapped. I don't care if it's just shelled. I don't care. Just give it to me.
Listen, and you know what? The Mexican food here it's different.
Yeah.
It's really. I mean, they put their zing on it. All right, now I can't find it. Can you pull it up?
I can pull mine up. I mean, that's just out of control, buddy. That's out of control, people. Let me see if I can pull this up. I should be as I stall for myself now. Yeah, let's.
Now I could talk. But listen, I'm an implant in Tejas. I lived in Pennsylvania in hell. Because, and the reason I say hell is, number one, the weather. I mean, we had sun maybe 4 or 5 months of the year. Every day I wake up in Texas, it's like waking up and I'm in a resort. The weather's been a little bit crazy, 102, 103, 104. But let me tell you something. Vitamin D and the sun, what that does to a human being is night and day. People are much happier. They're more friendly. They smile. They're more engaged with one another. And I truly believe it's vitamin D in the sun.
I think it helps. And I mean, maybe even just on top of that, a little extra, but this, like your circadian rhythms and all that stuff, right? You get out of the sunlight, it actually causes your body to go like, oh, it's actually daytime. Oh my God. And it just does a whole different set of stuff. So again, yeah, getting outside, hugely helpful. I think I got it up on the screen. I hope
you got it. That's it.
Yeah, I'm feeling strong about this.
We changed the logo, and here's why, right?
Number one. Look at his shirt. Can you make your shirt more visible? You guys look at his shirt. It's this cartoon. It's this dude. This is him in cartoon form, except now he's looking at us. Now
right, at Uncle Sam, right? So my buddy, my graphics guy said, Chris, why don't you dress up as Uncle Sam, and then I'll do a cartoon rendition of you. And I was like, man, that is genius. I said, but I want one where I'm pulling up the sleeves, flexing, you know what I mean? Got the muscles, because I want them to know it's time to now flex our muscle. It's not about getting the game. It's not, and I'm not talking about violence. It's not what I'm talking about.
No.
What I mean is,
roll your sleeves up and let's get busy.
Let's go. Let's have an attitude. You know what I mean? Like, I've had it. Now we're gonna do something.
Yeah, it is. Show others. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing this now, mother effer. I mean,
That's
you would
right.
probably say that. It'd be more my style, but still.
Mother fudger.
Mother fudger.
But, you know, the people on this list, there's not, and let me just say, from, you know, this is God's and the people's event. I know that sounds like a cliche, Dan, you know me, you know, that's how I am. That's how I roll. I'm literally just the orchestrator. I'm a puppet on the strings, telling me what to do. Had a conversation with Owen Troyer yesterday. I just told Dan I'm going to be on InfoWars on Thursday and Nino in the morning. I mean, you talk about heavyweights in Texas, man. So, but everybody, Dan, from the event center to the AV to just advertising, all these speakers, the vendors, my sponsor, everybody has literally bent over backwards. You know, the Matrix, when they're like, ooh,
yeah, exactly.
They have bent over like that to make this event possible. All I did is found the event, said, hey, we're going to do it here. And Mike Lindell, man, I've given him a nickname. I'm not going to reveal it until Reckoning Fest, probably. And I've got something special for him. We're going to recognize him. But he was the very first one to confirm, because I was supposed to do this in Oregon. Remember, Dan?
Yeah.
Pulled that event, had to pull that
for me,
event.
it was like, there's no way in hell I'm going there. I'm sorry. I know the place needs love and it needs God's energy, but it's like, I don't know. It's a black hole.
Yeah, pulled the event. And on that day, I pulled it. I was going to call the speakers and let them know. And I was like, man, these people, you know, they put it on their calendar. They got this. I'm really letting them down. I'm like, God, do you just want me to cancel this whole thing? It was July 15th, Dan. July 15th. And my buddy Jeff Creer, who's emceeing, who you'll meet, you'll love, he said, Chris, why don't you have any great state of Texas? And poof, I was like, oh my gosh, I never heard of Mesquite. I started looking up. There were 2 event centers, 2, not 10, 2. And I called the one, Mesquite Convention Center. They said, let's talk. Boom, I booked it. Nice. I called Mike Lindell. I said, Mike, here's the situation. You know, and his assistant, they said, oh, so sorry, Chris. I don't know if we can confirm. 7:40 that night, he confirmed.
Nice.
The same night after he said he couldn't confirm, Gene Ho was second. And then it just started rolling and rolling and rolling. And, you know, obviously, you know, Pastor Greg Locke. Look, here's what type of event it is. When you have America's pastor, you like how I put that up? America's pastor, Greg Locke, opening an event.
That's going to be
incredible. Come on.
Yeah, you've got so many good names. You've got so many good names.
I love what Gene Ho said. He said, don't put me in front. Don't put me after somebody that's really big. And don't put me after like a break. I said, Gene, you're big. But that's how everybody is. Like, they're so humble. Yeah. You know what I mean? And,
well, yeah, many of us have just been thrust into this and have no idea, you know, I mean, I get compliments and it's just awkward, you know, like I can't imagine that. I'm just this dude like staring at a little camera in front of me and somehow that's making a difference. But God works through us all. And this is what's required right now. I think a lot of people are like, we need to, you know, organize. But to a point, this is our kind of organization. It's a weird, loosey-goosey organization. And these public events are awesome because it's a chance to meet people. Otherwise, most of us are like hiding in our bunkers making videos. So
and you're right. And we're going to get together. We're going to organize. We're going to strategize. We're going to have a plan. When every single speaker has a plan. I mean, my discussion is going to be, you'll love this, be an influencer, not influenced.
I like that. I like
that. Know? And so there's going to be a plan, you know. Christy Hutcherson, I interviewed her on my podcast the other day. You know, she has a plan what she's going to do. I love what Nino said. He goes, Chris, this is going to be like a fighting match.
Yeah.
And, you know, me being an ex-Golden Glove boxer, I'm thinking,
you're also an ex-boxer? I didn't know that. I mean, I know Nino is. Nino's like, I'd like I never want to piss off either of you, frankly, that's for sure.
He was the true he was the heavyweight guy. I was nothing. You know what I mean? I was just like
gold
amateur.
Gloves, man. They gave you gold gloves. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, doing something right. You're doing something right. That's fantastic.
And then when you're doing that, I was 153 pounds soaking wet. and lost, in the semis. Obviously, it was the last one that I fought, and I lost. Once you get your clout cleaned once, you really don't want to go back for more.
Yeah, no fun. Getting hit sucks.
Yeah, you get it, but when you get your clock clean, you're like, okay, I'm now cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I'm tagging. I'm good. So
Yeah,
God
I
bless
love
Nina.
you've got such an awesome past in my mind. It's just you're a very defined individual, and I mean that in so many ways. And it's the beautiful part about who you are. I think it's what I think helps make you shine. Frankly, it's very cool. I love the fact that you're hosting this too, bud.
Thank you, Dan. And listen, everybody's like, "Are you emceeing?" I'm not emceeing. They're like, "What?" You know what I'm doing? I'm serving the speakers. I'm going to take care of the speakers. I'm going to bring them up to the stage. I'm going to bring them to the media. I'm going to make sure media is okay. I'm going to make sure media talks to everybody. I'm going to make sure the vendors are going to be inside the event. They're like, oh my gosh, I
You're the
get to
host.
see the show. You
Helping us
know?
all. Like, do you need any more shrimp and crab dip? No, you're
Yeah,
good. Okay.
that's it.
Not that
And
there's going to be
that's
shrimp and crab dip, folks. I'm just letting you know. There might probably not.
Thanks, Dan. There
Probably
goes my
barbecue.
budget.
I'm sure if there's any food anywhere, it's going to be barbecue, probably.
There goes
Or
my
tacos.
budget.
Yeah, seriously, I just blew it up right there. You're like, damn it, now I need shrimp, crab stuff. Anyway,
But you
that's
know what, Dan?
yeah,
You said something very important where I've had such an eclectic life in everything I've done, modeling, professional dancing and a reality show, HGTV, right? It's because God had me do all these things so he could prepare me for this. So I could be ready for battle. He kept me in the dark where I was a misfit, where I never fit in, where I was an outcast. And the reason being is because now it's the time for the misfits. It's now the time for the outcast. It's for the ones that were pushed aside and said, hey, listen, you know what? You're of no importance to me. Well, we're important right now to what is going on and collectively coming together using all those God given talents that God gave us, right?
right.
For this battle. But, you and I talked a little bit off the air, and I want to get into it right away. I believe that the time is now. I believe this very well could be the very last patriotic event we have before the poop hits the fan. Yesterday was a telltale sign, right?
Yeah.
I do believe it's part of the movie. I don't think Trump would have been in Trump Towers.
I'm
and
almost sure they probably knew it was coming just from their internal sources. But I mean, speculation, of course. But yeah, he obviously wasn't home when they came.
And isn't today, and correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't today the deadline for Hunter's laptop?
Oh, no, I haven't. I don't know.
Look it up.
Well, you're just making
Do
things
some
difficult.
research.
Well,
But
right
I
this second on the
think
air, that's always tough.
you can do it.
Yeah, right.
You can do it.
That's tough.
But I think, I mean, let me see. Today's date's I think it was the 9th or the 10th was the last day for Hunter. I could be wrong, but I really do believe it is.
Huh.
And I think they just went right into that trap.
Yeah, I'll have to dig into that. It seems that didn't just pop up easily. That's for for sure. But we'll figure that out. That's excellent, and that could very well be. This is without a doubt something that's going to spark a whole lot of different emotions, a whole lot of different experiences. A lot of people, it's going to really, really kick them to that precipice of fear.
Yes.
I think for a lot of others, it's just that sheer frustration and anger, which kind of that actually can transform into action. That's not just being mad and sitting on the couch and just changing the channel and yelling at the TV. It's like you're actually doing something now. So I think this is going to be a very powerful catalyst. I think he knew it was coming. And I think it's actually the red line that the deep state had to cross for whatever their reasons were. And I think it's desperation to find out what Trump's been doing, like the devolution and all that stuff. Like, did he have any PEDs? Did he have any other documentation? I know they're claiming it was for the archives and all that nonsense, but that's BS. They broke into his safe. I mean, they were looking to see what secrets he had. And Trump's not stupid. He was sending letters to friggin' Kim Jong-un. I just don't think he's stupid.
Right, right. And, to what you said is very powerful, Dan, because, I totally believe that they just walked right into it. You got Christopher Wray leading the charge, right?
Right.
And then you got the judge who signed off on that warrant. And if I recall, wasn't he the guy that did the search warrant for Jeffrey Epstein too?
Yep. Yeah, he was directly tied into the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. So again, all of this makes sense. There's plenty of dirty judges too, folks. So, you can shop for a judge if you need to, and that's what they did. That's exactly what they did. The Biden administration claims they didn't know anything about it, which is probably a bunch of hooey. They, I'm sure, knew about it. If not, we're directing it. So this is like third world stuff, like everybody keeps referring to it, but it's an awakening process in a big way. And I think there's even a lot of Democrats right now that are actually looking at this going, this is
not
not
right.
this is not who we are. This is right. And I agree. I
The
don't
only
know.
president ever. I mean,
Ever.
Richard Nixon,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, like Trump was saying, he broke into the Watergate, to the Democratic National Committee's area. Sure, very bad, but breaking into a president's house and his safe? Are you freaking serious?
That to me. But you said something I want to touch on: emotion. So emotion is very important. When I do my discussions, I aim to move, touch, and inspire people by crying, by being angry, or being happy, or all three. Because those three emotions, happy, sad, angry, will move you to do something. If you're confused, you do nothing.
Well, I will say, when someone comes at me and they're angry and happy and sad at the exact same time, I'm very confused. I will be honest with you. I'm like, how did you get this way? This is like a tornado. How did you?
I mean, a different time, like somebody with menopause or something.
Yeah, right. You're like, something's not right. I'm kidding. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, you're an asshole. Wow.
But there's discussions where people where there's times they're laughing, there's times when they're sad, albeit be happy, or usually it's because they're happy, right? Or it hit them, it really touched them in the heart. But I think that's what we need to do. I think that was a catalyst where what happened right after that, people went right down and marched. It made action. It got people up. Oh, I'm not standing for this. I'm standing behind my president. Boom. And they took action.
Right.
And Trump wasn't even there. He was in New York.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I don't care. He's like, it sucks, but there's nothing in that safe. Trust me. Just piles of cash with just like FUs on top of it. It's like, you wish you were rich like this.
That is funny. But I think that's the beginning. I think that's the beginning of the movie.
I think so too. I mean, he put a movie out.
That's where it begins.
Did you see his little movie? Yeah. I mean, it's the storm. It was actually raining. Like, the storm is here. It's not the middle of the storm, but it sure looks like it's the start of the storm. And I think they were just waiting for something like this to happen. Deep State's running out of time. They are. I mean, like we look at kind of what could happen. There's either A, they let the election happen and they lose because they're going to try to cheat, but they realized after Arizona that's probably not going to work.
Nope.
And then
and
the only other option they kind of have is, how can we postpone the election? Now that would be executive orders, war, there's a number of things that would fall into that category. But watch them declare a climate emergency, and then all of a sudden they can postpone the election with that. And that makes the most sense because it'll be something that's absolutely stupid. Like, there's no emergency, but they will totally shut us down for something that's stupid, or some new disease that 14 people got, like this is.
Now, Dan, when you and I on our last podcast, we had a great podcast. I brought something up, and I'm going to bring it up again, you might remember. What if they take Biden out? Kamala will not be the president. I told you that because she is not citizen. And they bring in Pelosi.
For sure. I mean, she wants it.
Why was she in Taiwan? 25 years Speaker of the House has never gone to Taiwan because she's acting as the president.
Yeah, I said the same thing on one of my shows. Yeah, I'm there. I'm 100% on board with you.
Okay, so all right. So we talked about that the last time. People thought I was nuts. You go and check. Okay, so now you have Pelosi. What do you think the American people are going to do?
I think they're watching everything happen in weird ways. It's like, why did she even need to go there, right? And she just created all this tension. We've got potentiality of problems. If China ends up attacking or anything weird in the near future, that's going to not bode well for her. Even went against the Biden administration, which doesn't make sense. So yeah, there's all sorts of weirdness around that.
What if, Dan, we're up in arms and they call in the National Guard and it shuts down the midterm?
That's possible. I mean, I think one of the things they definitely want us to do is to get up in arms and go out in the streets and, like bring pitchforks.
Violence.
But we haven't really done that. Like January 6th didn't even come close to doing what they thought we would do. Now, their people on the left, the progressive crazy nut jobs on the left, they totally do that. That's all you got to do is just poke them in the ribs and they're going to light something on fire or throw a grenade at something. They're like, kill. Like that's their first thing, but not us. We're peace loving. We're Constitution people. We're people of the Bible. We're like, we don't do that. That's not how we roll. If you tread on us, to use a Texas term, but if you tread on us, hell yeah, you will wish you never did. Because that's kind of how we roll. We're fine. We'll take a slap. We'll take a second slap. You do it again, I'm going to break your hand off. And that's kind of where a lot of us have gotten to at this point. And it's
you're right, Dad.
Powerful.
There's a guy, Doug Wade. You know Doug Wade? So he owns Pure Social platform. Good friends with him.
Nice.
And one day I was just going through a situation, and God sends messages through other people, and he sent me this song, and I was like, "What the?" I'm like, I have no time for this right now. I'm playing this event, like I have no time. And God said, "Just put it on." Dan, you would die. But it says the lyrics are pretty much what you just said. Like you said, "Don't tread on me." What is it? Jesus. I gotta tell you, because it's unbelievable. But when you hear it, it's pretty much like, look, man, this is gonna drive me crazy. Hold on, you gotta hear it.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is what it looks like when Baby Trump goes crazy. You got to see it live on the Fringe.
Yeah, with Doug, because I was like, oh my gosh. And it's pretty much like, don't tread on me. And I was like, okay. But it was like, I'll use these hands. Oh, you got it. This is the best song, because I never heard it. I'll tell you the song. Of course, YouTube 7, 6. I love their ads.
Yeah. I would
try Jesus. Try Jesus.
Try Jesus. Yeah.
Not me. Listen to the lyrics. Try Jesus, not me. Because I throw hands. Try Jesus. Please don't try me. Because I fight. I know what he said, which is about getting slapped. But if you touch me or mine, we're gonna have to scrap.
Nice. Yeah.
And there's these Christian guys. But he's like, Chris, the minute I heard this, I thought of you. And I was like, really? Because that's what it comes down to. Try Jesus, don't try me, because my hands will slap you silly.
We've got to stop appeasing the other side. And I mean,
yes,
figuratively on the whole violence, obviously I don't want violence, but if it gets to that point, defend your family and yourself. Definitely. There's no question about that always. But yeah, I mean, this is an issue of don't play their games. Don't use their pronouns. Be respectful. Always be a Christian, be representative of the people that you are, but don't kneel to anyone.
No.
And that's what that's what so many people have done, is they've bowed down and kneeled to all these different little fringes because they don't want to upset anybody. But here's the thing. Who gives a crap? ultimately you
along
got to
and get
answer to your
along.
creator. You got to answer to your higher self, your creator, to God. And I think it's more important to keep those choices in mind rather than what everyone else thinks. Sorry.
Yeah, go along to get along. No. If the FBI comes at your door, just like they did in Missouri, did you hear about this? Knocking on the door and said, "Oh, you just bought 2 guns."
Oh, the ATF, yeah, that's a great video.
The
salty cracker video, that one?
No, we just want you to we just want to see the serial number. You know what you do? You shut the door in his face and you call your sheriff.
Yep.
Now the FBI, now that's not even in the jurisdiction of the FBI. However, I'll get back to why they're doing it.
Or the ATF, either or, but yeah.
Right? Yeah. Missouri, right? So then Missouri, seeing FBI, the FBI calls up the sheriff and says, "I want a list of everybody that has bought guns."
Oh, that story.
Guns.
Yeah.
And he slammed the phone down.
Yeah.
Now, why would the FBI be coming to your house to check on guns? Here's why: to soften us up, right? It's like a child. Can I have a cookie? 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 Right? And they just beat you down. Finally, after the 25th time, like, give him the freaking cookie, right?
Right.
The second time they roll around, the kid's like, "Have a cookie," and you're like, "Oh, I'm not going through this." So you don't wait 25 times, the 10 times you give it to them. That's what you're talking about, that acquiescing, that kneeling. You got to know 2 things. 2 books: the Constitution and the Bible. I'm telling you right now, you want your life to be saved. You want to save other people's lives. Do you want to have there you go, brother. The Bible and the Constitution. 2 years ago, I did not get into the Bible until then, but I'm so glad I did, because here's why. If it's not in the Bible, I don't care. It's la 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 la. Like la 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 la. It's just white noise. If it's not in the Constitution, it's white noise. I've got my Constitution and I've got my Bible. It's right on my phone. That way I have it.
I will say, I learned from Clay Clark. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. So when something happens, I have it right there.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, I learned from Clay Clark. I was looking, he was showing his schedule one time, and I saw that he woke up 3 hours early every day and just read the Bible. And I'm like, well, I can't do 3 hours. That's just, I'm already working way too long a day. But I get up an hour early every day now, and I read the Bible for an hour. And
that's it.
I started
great.
Started at the Old Testament, Genesis, and some people would say, no, don't. And I'm like, no, I want to read the book the way the book was put together. And it's been fascinating. I think I'm just starting the second book of Samuel. So very interesting, loving it. It's just a good
experience. And Dan, like when they start talking about Lilith being Adam's, first wife, you're like, whoa, no, not in the Bible, nope.
Right.
When they talk about rapture, we're not going nowhere. Like, no, peace. If you read Revelations, Melissa Redpill and I are going to discuss this on her show tomorrow. There's going to be peace, people. Listen to Baby Trump.
Shall inherit the earth.
Yes.
They're very specific. They tell us throughout the entire book, all over the place, about what's going on.
Listen to Baby Trump. This is not the end of the world. The jab, the hokey pokey is not the mark of the beast. It's gonna get bad before it gets good.
I think we're close to the badness.
Yes.
I think. Yes. I really do. I mean, we've got a lot of rebuilding, and I think a lot of people, it's not another 4-year election. It's way bigger than that, folks. In the next 20, 30 years, we're going to be dealing with what has been found over the past couple of years. This is a transformation of our world society. Like the entire planet is changing right now. And I don't think anyone quite grasps that, because frankly, it's hard to believe. But then again, if we went back 3 years and I said, hey, you know what's going to happen here in the next 6 months? They're going to shut down the entire country. In fact, the whole world. And you'd be like, that's no way in hell you're right about that. And see what happens.
Now you see it.
So this is different times, folks.
Yeah, and you're right. And you could see with the food and what they're doing.
Yep.
And it's almost like, it's kind of like an act of attrition. Like, can we withstand it? Can we withstand again? Can we withstand? Because once we withstand, Praise You in the Storm. There's a song called Praise You in the Storm. It's a beautiful song. And we're in the storm. And listen, you know what's great about a storm? It's
Cleans
temporary.
away everything. It waters flowers and nature. I mean, storms do all sorts of beautiful things. They do. They
But
can be
it's
destructive
temporary.
too.
Right, but it's temporary, right?
True.
And it comes through and you're in it, and then it's gone and you're out. So that's what's gonna happen to us. We have to weather that storm no matter how bad, no matter how bad the wind is, no matter the gust could be 180, 200. You're gonna feel like, oh my gosh, it's the end. That's what they want us to think. But it's absolutely, it's the farthest thing from the truth. Get in the Bible and read it, and you'll see, oh my gosh, baby Trump reads the Bible. He said, it's not the end of the world. We're gonna have peace. Yes, we are.
And think about, unfortunately, a lot of the lost people and a lot of the angrier people. Like, if you look out in society at some of the more problematic people, they're kind of the ones that make a lot of the poor choices. And those are the choices that don't reward you for making them. And those of us that have stood strong, have held our bounds, have paid attention, have listened to our heart, listened to God, we've made different choices, haven't we? And I think that's one of the things that's separating the wheat from the chaff. And that's also something interesting we're living through right now. So again, very challenging times. And one thing I think a lot of people need to remember is the most important thing that happens as far as your world's concerned is the choices you make, not anyone else, what you do, because ultimately that's what you're responsible for. And you can show that as an example to others, but you can't control others. So don't worry about what so-and-so is doing. Worry about what you are doing.
10% is what happens to you. 90% is how you act and react.
Amen.
And how you handle it. Look, we've been bashed. We've been talked about. We've had death threats. My gosh, I had so many death threats. Ridiculous. But guess what? It's just words, right? They're just words. They're going to come and they're going to go. All I care about is what he thinks of me. And as Christians, we are not perfect. We are sinners. I'm a sinner. I sin every single day. Every night I go to bed, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I sinned today. Please forgive me. Because there's no way, two people make it to heaven. You know what types they are? Perfect and saved. That's it. You perfect? I'm not perfect, so I better be saved. Like, you know what I mean? I know I'm not perfect, so I got to be saved. And so every day I'm like, I'm a sinner. I sinned today. When I go to bed, I want to cleanse, right? And when I get up, I want to have an attitude of gratitude. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me get up today. Oh my gosh, I get another day to fight with you. I get to fight the dark powers of principality side by side with you. You know, and that's the mentality, and that's what we got to fix. I'm going to talk about that at my event. We got to fix the mindset, the broken mindset. It's not that they're broke like money, they're broke in what they think, right? And how they think.
Moral weakness and I would say character weakness are probably too tough, because so many people are afraid to say that thing to someone because they might get offended, they might get hurt, what they might think something. We have to get over that a lot, folks. I mean, again, I'm not saying be disrespectful. In fact, I wouldn't condone that. But what I would say is don't care what they think. That's easy. It really is. And it sounds stupid, but you can be a great example. You can hold God and Christ in your heart and be an example of that and a light unto others. And that's all that anybody can ask of you. And that is what has to happen. And we have to step up and do our individual part. There's too many people that are pointing out and saying, when Trump comes back, when this happens, when that happens, it's you actually that needs to do something. It's the three fingers pointing back at yourself that are reminding you, hey, you're the one with the power. Use it. And I think if each one of us turns our power on, this world changes, period.
I agree. And, you know, Dan, when you're talking about that, it makes so much sense, because what people don't realize is the power that is vested in them. and they don't realize that they can change. Listen, when you're around somebody, either they're going to influence you or you're going to influence them.
Oh, that
It's
comes up to your
one,
perfect phrase.
it's one or the other. So you need to influence them. So what does that mean? That means that you need to be a good ambassador of Christ. You need to know the Bible. You need to know when somebody says something, you're like, whoa, wait a second. That's not in the Bible. You know what I mean? And filter. We don't have filters. We have to have a filter so that when somebody says something, I've read that there's over 175,000 thoughts that a human goes through in a day, that goes through our filter, through our mind. 175,000. What we have to do is we have to filter. We have to filter what's good, what's bad. And that doesn't mean, well, this person's doing that and you judge them. Absolutely not. You judge people by their fruit, but you ask questions.
That's awesome.
You don't just, me and Melissa had a great conversation, Dan. You'll love this. And I said, how do you feel about the people that are fear mongering? Because it's so distasteful for me, right? And she said, Chris, I believe some people are deceived and some people are deceivers. And I said, okay, but here's the problem. The ones that are deceivers get that misinformation and then, right, take it and spread it.
Yeah.
Now they're not deceivers. Now they're the ones deceived. And it's that vicious circle. And just do your homework. Don't listen to Baby Trump. Don't listen to Dan. Don't listen to any other podcaster until you do your due diligence. When you go in and you start doing research, I think when people are not educated and they'll just taking it, there are pastors in the church, Dan, you know this, they take a little bit of the truth and they spin it.
That's all you need, though. And that's all it takes, by the way. And that's why I say this a lot on my channel. And it's one of the reasons why I like to sometimes follow some of the people that I know are spreading disinformation, because within every great lie is some truth, because you have to. You won't believe a lie if it doesn't have some truth in it. And that's always the nugget. It's like, what's the truth the deep state's playing with or wrangling with? Because that's what they're struggling with right now. You kind of know where the damage has been done, if you will. And so it's powerful in my mind to show us where some of our munitions have landed, if you will. And it's powerful. But yeah, we've just got to remember to keep pressing on. I feel like I lost my train of thought.
No, you're absolutely right, because and if you don't know the Bible and you don't know the Constitution, that when somebody says something, you're caught off guard, and then you tend to believe it. There's a Bible verse, the lion, and I'll see if you finish it. The lion lays with the
lamb.
Boom.
Yes.
Boom.
Yes.
Does the lion lay with the wolf?
No.
Do you know there's Christians that believe that? Because it is in some Bibles.
Is it really? Oh, they changed the animal?
They changed the Bible verse with the Mandela effect.
The lamb's not really got the right pronouns. So I like a wolf. It's a little more pronoun fair and friendly. I like that.
Two predators a lion is gonna lay with a wolf. Yeah. No, but here's and this,
or at least that's not as amazing as laying with prey. I mean, that's the whole point of the
right. And this is my mic drop.
Oh,
as a Christian, if you hear that, the lion lays with the wolf, you go, hold on, wrong. Why am I wrong? Here's why. So the lion is Jesus Christ. That's part of Jesus Christ. So now you're calling the wolf Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
No, yeah. You see, but if you know the Bible and it's common sense, you go, no, God is what? Jesus Christ is the Lamb of God. So he's part lion, he's part lamb. The lion lays with the lamb.
And it's,
not with the wolf.
and I think it's also kind of designating the fact that there was multiple sides to Jesus. He wasn't just a simple dude that walked around and just went, oh, wherever he went. I mean, he flipped over money changers' tables. He was tempted in the desert for 40 days. God, why have you forsaken me? While he was, well, it sucked when he was on the cross. Let's be honest. Nothing about that experience would have been good.
But he had anger. He had wrath.
He was a human being also, on top of everything else. He was God made flesh. And I think it's something that some people forget, is he tried to show us by example, being one of us. You know, now we could never reach his levels, don't get me wrong, but he was showing us as one of us how to be. He said, pick up your cross and follow me, right? Like, he was saying, follow me. I am the way and the light. I'm showing you how to do this. And I think people forget.
You know, and we got to get back to having grace. We have to go back to mercy, and we have to go back to forgiving people.
I agree.
I mean, I'm going to leave you with this story, and we'll tie it up with a prayer if you want. But you know, my girlfriend's dad had double lung surgery a couple of months ago, and you know, you're in a medical induced coma. He came out of that. He was doing great. We got the call that, hey, we're going to be at the IC room and in a regular room the next day. Well, when I woke up, she was literally standing in front of me in the morning with this straight face and was like, we have a problem. And I said, what? They said, when they pulled the pick out of his neck, I might get a little teared up, a bubble went to his brain. He had an embolism. And I was like, whoa, okay. And so here I am, I got to be a rock for her, right? And I'm like, okay, all right, I got to be a witness. Okay, what do I say to her? And then I'm like, okay, I couldn't say anything. What do you say, right? But the anger that they had for that nurse, her son, her mom, and rightfully so. I mean, because he was
you understand why, for sure.
I mean, you take it out, and if you don't know about an embolism, when it goes to the brain, within 24 hours you have a seizure. Within 48 hours you're dead. You're dead. It was a miracle. He's alive. He's home. He's in recovery. No brain damage. He's literally a walking, talking miracle.
Wow.
I can't wait to have him on my body. I can't wait to show him off to the world. But what I did was, I was like, okay, let's pray. And when we prayed, I said, we have to forgive that nurse. We have to get it out of our system right now. Give him mercy, give him grace, and forgive him right now. It's going to be the hardest thing we ever had to do. But if we don't do it, it's going to eat us up inside. And man, you know, to have her 16-year-old son do that, and have her do that, have her mom do that, was the hardest thing for me to share with somebody.
Oh, they fight it. You fight it with a vicious, I mean, it's brutal. And here's the thing, folks. I don't think a lot of people realize this. Forgiveness is not for the other individual's sake. That ultimately doesn't matter that much. Forgiveness is for your soul, because it will tear you up. It will eat you up. If you hold anger and resentment inside of you, it damages you. It's not about them. It's about you accepting the fact that we're all sinners. We all make mistakes, you know, and I think people have to remember that. And sucky things were definitely going to happen in our lives, but blaming the individual in front of you isn't necessarily the way to move forward. But you're right. It's one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah. And, you know,
by the way, I saw how you snuck in some of them tears, man. You did. You talked about it. It's all the emotions.
I know, man. I know. That's what I said. We laughed, right? Got angry. And then, you know, a little teared up. But, you know, I think I had to share that with some of your listeners, because I think somebody's going to be on here and be like, you know what, I need to forgive this person. And let me tell you, when you forgive somebody and you give them mercy, there is such a peacefulness, a calm. And I'm telling you, you're a different person if we start there. But I want to just end with a prayer, like I always do. And I just want to say, you know, thank you again, you know, for the brotherhood that I get to share with my boy Dan, and his listeners, and the fellowship with his listeners, who I adore. And look, you know, if you're sitting there, you remember what I said. two types of people go to heaven, right? Perfect people and saved people. If you think you're perfect, great, congratulations. I'll see you in heaven. I'm
Yeah.
not perfect.
Yeah.
I need to be saved. And you say, how do I get saved? What do I have to do? Do I have to fill something out? Do I have to do a good deed? Do I have to come to your Reckoning Fest? Yes. No, I'm teasing. But the only way that you can be saved is through Jesus Christ. He said, I am the way and the only way to heaven. And if you say, Chris, I'm not a religious person, great, neither am I. Neither is Dan. But I have a relationship, I have a friendship. I talk to him every day. I don't just get up in the morning and pray. I have conversations with him all day long. It's like he's right here with me.
I have a relationship with him.
Yeah, when I go
spend
out
time
to
with him every
eat,
day. Yep.
and there's an extra chair, I'm like, oh, that's Jesus Christ sitting next to me. I say it all the time. And here's why, because if you have a relationship with him, just open your heart a little bit, just like a little bit, just open it up, just let him in. You don't have to open up all the way. Just open it up just a little bit.
You can even keep the chain on the door. Just keep the,
just
let
he
won't be able to bust through. He won't be able to bust through.
No, sneak in
Yeah.
and watch your life change. You'll act differently. You'll react differently. You'll talk differently. You'll go through life thinking differently. So hey, if that's you, you just wanted to sit there, raise your hand where you're at and say, Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving your only begotten son, to come here on earth, he was persecuted, right? He was, on the cross. He died on the cross for us, for my sins. He was
tortured.
My sins. He was tortured for my sins. Thank you for giving me mercy. Thank you for giving me grace that I
shut up. He did it for me too, man. Shut up.
He did it for Dan.
I'll fight you for Jesus. I'll fight you, buddy.
He likes me more.
Jesus is mine. He's mine.
See? And look, having a relationship with Jesus Christ, you're probably thinking, man, look at these clowns. Like, they're praying, but they're laughing.
More, gather in my name.
We think Jesus is like, let me tell you, Dan and Chris. No, he's up there laughing.
Yeah.
Going,
it'd be cool if like a third
boys.
screen popped up in the Zoom meeting and it was Jesus, just like some random
That'd
Jesus.
be so awesome. But just say thank you, thank you for, dying for me, giving me mercy, giving me grace that I did not deserve. I now know that I'm a child of God. I am heaven bound. I know I'm a sinner. Say you're a sinner. It's okay. I'm a sinner. I sin every day. I'm not perfect. I mess up every single day so many times. It's okay because he doesn't care. He doesn't care. And now all your sins are going to be wiped away, and ask for his forgiveness. And guess what? Now you're saved. Now that doesn't mean it ends there. You pick up a Bible, you read it, you maybe go on YouTube, watch a couple of videos of some people. Spencer Smith is really a good doctrine pastor. And just feed yourself. Feed yourself. So Dan, I just wanted to share that with your listeners.
For sure.
Just show them how easy it is just to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. It's not something you got to get dressed up and go to church and make sure you look good. And, all right, Jesus, I'm ready to pray. No, I'm in the car. I'm sitting there. I'm praise and worship. I'm getting my bags at the airport. And I'm like this. People are like, he's probably like raving out or rocking out. No, I'm jamming for Jesus, actually. They have no idea.
And let me just say this. I mean, even when you first wake up in the morning and you've got that like dried up drool down the side of your mouth, you've got that line down the side of your face from whatever the hell you just slept on all night, and your hair is sticking out every which way. Yeah, Jesus sees you then too, just so you know. So again, he still loves us even in our worst. that's
even at our worst.
That's the great thing about having him as a buddy.
It's so scary. He knows every move you're going to make.
Yeah.
Every move. He knows every hair on our head. Right?
Yep,
so
he does.
Appreciate you, Dan, so much. And guys, just Reckoning Fest tickets are on sale now.
Where do they go? Is it on here? Yeah, that is RECKONINGFEST.com right here on the screen, guys.
Listen, I'm not. This is not a sales ploy. I'm going on Melissa Red Pill tomorrow. Blessed to Teach, Peter Santelli, And then on Thursday, I'm going on Nino Rodriguez in the morning, and then at night, InfoWars.
Yeah, you're gonna be on InfoWars.
It would be suffice to say that by the weekend we could be nearly sold out.
Nice. I would hope
so
after
with that
exposure on all
lineup.
those places, I would certainly hope so. But yeah, congrats on that. We'll see if I can make it out there. I've got an event the week before, and that might be tough doing 2 back-to-backs. But
You could do back to back for
back
baby
to it.
Trump.
Get down now. Do a
Get
back to
down
back.
now.
Get on my
You can
back.
do it.
All right, brother. Well, hey, thank you for being on my show. Little baby Trump. I want to call you little baby Trump, but you're a giant baby Trump is really what you are. It's like buff man.
Little, yeah.
Little giant. Little.
Actually, I am little since I met you.
I met you. Have you lost a little? Lost a little bulk?
I'm like 215 today.
Are you still a little in the middle, but you got much back? My friends, it's been a pleasure to have you on my show, dude. We got to do this again.
Yes.
Greatest success on this, folks. If you can get out there to Mesquite, Tejas, and get some tacos, make sure you check it out. It's gonna be a fantastic event, and here's all sorts of great people that are gonna be there. Chris,
and Dan,
Baby Trump, thank you,
one more thing.
Yes, sir. Yes,
if you can't afford this, you go, man, I really want to go. My number is 412-506-1711. My email address is on there as well, but it's flexthetruth@yahoo.com. Send me an email, send me a text, and we'll make sure you get there.
And for those of you that just said, crap, I didn't write that down. Rewind. Just go back a little. You might hear something you've already heard, but you'll get the phone number again. Yes, exactly.
My number is.
There you go. There you go. That's all you got to do, folks. All you got to do. I think people forget that sometimes. They're like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Or how about this? Just go to RECKONINGFEST.com. My number's on there.
What? You just give it away like that.
I do. I talk to everybody.
Phone number whore is what you are.
I am.
You are. All right, Chris. Thank you for being on my show, brother. We'll talk very soon.
Yes. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye. That was great.
Yeah, that came out good. Let me see if I can kill this meeting. I've got crap all over the. Oh yeah, let me stop sharing. That would help. Do that. Then I can stop it. We'll just end the meeting. Stop the recording. We'll do.